Saturday, May 18th at 7:15 p.m. at Desert Song Healing Arts Center. See the documentary Walk With Me, A Journey into Mindfulness featuring Thich Nhat Hanh, narrated by Benedict Cumberbatch. This is a joint presentation from our friends at Phoenix Film Collective and Desert Song Healing Arts Center. Its tickets are $8, and the event features a 30-minute stretching and breathing session before the film. You can get your tickets at desertsongyoga.com or phxfilmcollective.com. That's phxfilmcollective.com. I'm very proud of the fact that I got the date right this time. All right, let's get into the show. Hey there, everyone. Thanks for listening to Limited Engagement. I'm your host for the show, Jared Duran. This is a conversation with Sally Ball, whose latest collection is Hold Sway. We'll get into that in just a moment here. I wanted to officially welcome all listeners to the Summer of Jared, which I will accompany with a musical sting. I don't know why. I'm just sitting here with my guitar. I am trying to get everything done and still have a social life, which is a huge pain in the ass. These things take a lot of time. There's a lot of work. There's work, then there's work after the work, and then there's more work. Which, if you all would like to support me in the style to which I've become accustomed through Patreon or something so that I can focus solely on podcasting and publishing, then, it would be amazing. It seems unlikely, but it's patreon.com/Hoot and Waddle. Barring that, though, there's all the work. And then now there is also here's the thing. I need me time, and I can't slow down work. Apparently right now I can't slow down at all. I've essentially consumed an entire carafe of coffee, and it's certainly affecting how quickly I'm talking. And how fast the thoughts are firing and stepping over each other. But, I need a little bit of, I just need to take care of myself. It's, I need some, things, I think that one of the reasons some things have kind of fell apart and needed to basically hit the reboot button on my life and living situation, and it's because of just how laser focused on work that I have been, and it's just situation that's become pretty untenable. And I could take a break, you say. This is true. I make the work for myself. I put all the work on my own plate. This is also true. But when you've committed to something in the way that I have with Hoot and Waddle, there's only forward. And to do that, it's a lot of work. And I'm just super hard on myself. So, since slowing down is not an option, there is only the option to make the time necessary to also take care of myself mentally and have a little break now and then. So I'm doing that. That's what I'm doing. I am learning different ways to sort of streamline the processes I have in place so that I make them take as little time as possible. Sorry. And also find the time I need to play guitar, to unwind, the time I need to be able to read and read things that I want to for pleasure. And so, to the summer of Jared. I am taking all the time, making all the time that I need to see this woman I started dating that I talked about at length last week. So keeping that to a minimum here. And to, do all the things. I'm almost completely out of boxes here, which is just a huge weight off of me. Like, you have no idea. But past guest John Derek West will be happy to hear I am shedding possessions. I'm going through, I'm not doing that whole joy sparking thing, whatever, but I am going through, and you know what? If it doesn't have some sort of deep connection to me, it's going. And I don't know. That'll help things a little bit. But yeah, I'm going to pay attention to myself and fix myself a little bit for a while, and just roll with things, and things will work out the way they're going to work out, and it's all going to be okay. I am just being everything will work out the way it's supposed to work out. I have a limited amount of control over the world at large. I can only control what I do and how I react to things, and I'm being much healthier about it. Peace of mind. Trying to get my mental house in order. Shedding the stuff in my head. As I said, physical possessions, I'm shedding some mental baggage I'm hanging on to as well. It's a process. It's an ongoing process. But that is the Summer of Jared. Summer of Jared! Which you can hear a little bit more about on this week's What the Fork conversation with me and Jason Kyle. But yeah, I mean, that's it. That's all I wanted to talk about this time. If you have questions on that, you can always email me. Hit me up on Twitter at LTD_engagement, at limited engagement on Instagram and whatnot. LTD.engagement@gmail.com. So I had the opportunity to talk to Sally Ball. I have it's probably the longest conversation I've ever had with Sally. I have known her for a little while in literary circles and through other people I know at ASU. And she's a great poet. Like I said up at the top, her latest collection is called Hold Sway, and it's available in fine bookstores all over the place and on the usual book websites and so forth. So you should check that out. There's a lot I gained out of this episode from a publishing standpoint and how I'm trying to do things too fast. So those following the Hoot and Waddle saga, we're going to make some changes to do a little bit more of a sustainable timeline sort of thing. But it was great talking to Sally. It was great to hear her read a couple of pieces and from the new book, and kind of pick her brain about some of those things. And so let's just go ahead and get into that conversation and see you on the other side.
And I went to see him when he was at where was he? Was it
Valley
Bar? Crescent.
Yeah. I was at that show.
Were you? Yeah.
He's played there twice, once with a band and once solo.
Solo is the one that I was at.
That was
not that
really,
long ago.
really
It was
good
really
show.
good. Yeah, it was very fun to be there.
So is that is that a big passion? Are you a big music nut?
No, I'm not. I mean, no. I thought I was a person who liked music, and then I got married and had children and discovered that I like music way less than everyone else I live with or know. And so I mean, I was always the second person. I got enthusiasms from friends or whatever. And you know, I mean, I think I like music, but my kids are like, you do not like music. It's like, I'll be doing something without music, and that's proof to them that I don't like it. And my argument is like, well, actually, I do like music, but I can't, some things I can't do with music because I end up paying too much attention or it's like too much attention is needed by the music. So then I have to be half quiet.
It's something that's evolved for me. I used to be able to have music on doing anything, including reading, and now it's too much. I get too distracted. I have to have either jazz playing or silence.
Yeah.
So even jazz, sometimes my ear will catch whatever somebody's doing on piano or something, and I'll just be like, oh, it's a great riff, and then I'm not paying attention anymore.
Yeah, I have a similar phenomenon, I think. Yeah.
But that's a pretty Billy Bragg is not somebody that a lot of people come across just casually. So I just thought that was interesting. Usually it's I don't know. There's it's different for different people, but I've found that when I was first getting into music, really coming into my own tastes as a teenager, I would be listening, like I started listening to Elvis Costello, and then I would get into Squeeze, and then there are different threads that you can follow, like because somebody plays on somebody else's album or somebody produces somebody else, and then you read an art. I used to love reading. I find I don't have so much time for it anymore, but I used to love reading the British music magazines, and they would always be reviewing an album and talking about how it sounded like so-and-so. So then I would go listen to that. It's this whole rabbit hole of things that you can go down. It's really very similar for literature though too. I think. I mean, and I suppose anything kind of arts related, if you become, I think it's a certain level of obsessive tendencies, I guess, to become hyper focused and aware of a particular field. Have you found that you have an obsession like that anywhere?
No, I mean, like. You mean going down the rabbit hole? Let's broaden obsession to a particular passion or something that you really dig into. I mean, I feel like I am a little bit of a one-note song in that most of my life is kind of built around poetry in some way. I mean, I'm teaching, I'm editing for Four Way. I'm also teaching now at Warren Wilson's the residency MFA program. I'm writing. So in a way, I mean, poetry gets to be the real obsession. The other thing that I do that I don't usually talk about very much is that I play tennis. And there's a lot of poetry tennis connections, like Rowan Ricardo Phillips just wrote this beautiful book called The Circuit, which is about a year in which he was injured, and he was, I think, essentially on bed rest, and he watched every match of the men's tennis circuit for a year and wrote this kind of book about it. And it was while the last election was going on. And so it sort of is about tennis, but it's also about America.